Watching television over the past while, I have focused on Michael Portillo and his train journeys. That series has been repeated quite a few times. Maybe you've seen some of the shots. He takes us down into different countries, takes us also into the United Kingdom, comparing past train journeys with recent ones. And they look at some of the changes and some of the things that have remained the same. There have been a number of programmes around steam trains, train journeys, and I can't remember which one I had seen. Was either for Michael Portillo or another one, but they were looking at a tunnel that many years ago had been dug right underneath a mountain. And in those times, it was quite a challenging event. 3 miles in length. And he said, I want you to imagine the darkness going into that tunnel. Not only was it a feat of engineering, but sometimes people felt uncomfortable in the train sitting before they saw daylight after some time. A comment was made, and for some reason I noted it, because it wasn't just a comment about the physical work of making a tunnel. For me, it also symbolised something deeper. And this is what was said. Sometimes going through a dark tunnel is the only and the quickest way for a journey. It was physically a quick way, rather than going round a mountain. It might have been the only way. But if you think of that symbol, it also says a lot about life. We have to go through dark tunnels, and maybe they're the quickest or the only way to get to the end. Sadly, over the past few days, we have seen the situation with the coronavirus increasing and will still do so. The government has had to initiate legislation so that we have to stay at home, and maybe that legislation will become even firmer. But we need to remember that it may be the only and the quickest way during this quite dark journey. David in Psalm 23 was taking sheep down a valley. Perhaps it was the one from Jerusalem to Jericho, a deep valley of 500 to 600 feet below sea level, steep and hot. We can't be sure. But something like that occurred, and as he took sheep, he said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And he took a physical act and thought about something deep in relation to life and death. When you look at that verse, David perhaps was meaning something more than just the reality of death, but also our very dark moments in life, times when we feel overwhelmed by something, or in a deep spirit of agitation or depression, our darkest moments. David said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not be afraid, because you're with me. In other words, as we put our trust in God, so he will be with us when we may have a dark tunnel to go through. I remember, suppose it's about 50 years ago, when I was a passenger in a car and we were going under the Mersey. It was the Mersey Tunnel. I'd never experienced something like that before, and I was rather uncomfortable. I imagined as I was going down the tunnel, all the sea that was above me. And it wasn't the most pleasant experience for me as a novice. The one thing that helped me, which I still remember, is when we had gone so far into the tunnel, I saw a little spot of light at the end. It was the exit. And the nearer we got to the exit, the brighter, obviously, the light was as everything expanded, and then we left. Jesus said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness. When we see him as the light and focus upon him in heart and in mind, then he can take us through that dark tunnel.